This is the third part of the Lego tutorial, and I'm going to now add a second axle and a second gear on this assembly. So go back into Assemble, grab my axle. So I'll grab an axle 12, open, and you'll see it come in. And as like before, I'm going to come here and I want to pin it so that it will rotate. And you can see how it's selecting edges. Okay, I'm just going to come into here and select a surface, and I'll select this one here, and I will select the surface inside right there, and you can now see that it's in there. Okay, and it says connection definition is incomplete. That's because I need to line up this surface to here, so I'm going to do a distance. So grab a distance, and I'll grab that surface there to this surface here, and I'm going to drag it out. Okay, and again, you can see the motion is there. I got my distance, and I'm going to accept it. And to test, I'm going to drag, and you can see that it now spins around. Okay, so there's the first part done. Okay, I'll just close this off. Okay, now I'm going to bring in my gear. I'm just going to zoom in here a bit. I'll just move it there. Okay, so I'll go assemble, and this is a gear 8 this time. Okay, and you can see my gear over here. I'm going to turn on my 3D dragger. I'm just going to drag it into this a bit better. Okay, so I can work with it a bit closer. Okay, turn off my dragger and zoom in a bit. Okay, so now I want to connect this gear again to the axle. So in this case, I'm going to come down and I'm going to go surface to start. And I don't know, I'm going to take this bottom surface here and I'm going to join it to this bottom surface here, right there. Okay. And then like before, I need to line up the edges. So holding the shift key down, I'm just dragging over. And I'm going to line up this edge right here with that edge there. So again, the picker down here, I'm going to select edge. And I'm going to grab this edge right in, hang on, let me just rotate this a bit. This edge right there. And I'm going to do it with, zoom out a bit here. And I'm going to grab that edge there, and let's get into where I want to get to. There we go. And I want this edge right. Oh, select down here in the picker again, select edge. Let's do that edge right there. You can see it's rotated into place now. Okay, and then of course the last thing I want to do is set up the distance. So where it says orientate, what I'm going to do right now is I'm actually going to click on orientate, right mouse click, and go coincidence, so it locks it in place. And then finally, what I'll do is just select distance. Oops, sorry, that one changed to distance. Change that one back to coincidence. Okay, coincidence. Okay, now I'm going to line up this surface here. Okay, and this is where I'll change it to distance. And pick that center one there. Now I have my distance. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my distance here, and I'm going to line it up with there with the gear. So now they're actually lined up. So if I look at it from the top there, you can see it. Okay, they're actually lined up. Okay. Now I'm just going to set this up in the front view, and the last part I want to do, I'm just going to click OK. Okay. The last thing I'm going to do for this part of the tutorial is I'm going to drag. I'm going to drag this one, and you can see how the gears, I want them to mesh up for the last part of the tutorial. So I'm going to leave it right there. So I can turn this around. You can see this one's independent. Right? Turn this one over here around. You see this one's independent. So I want to have the two lined up so when I create the motion in the next part of the tutorial that'll work. So there's the two lined up. Okay, and it looks good. I'm just going to zoom out, and I'm going to stop right here, and that's the last part of this tutorial, and you'll go on to the next one where you start making things actually link together.